Hello, today is the anniversary of the death in 2014 of Mike Nichols, the distinguished film director uh, who had a reputation for being able to bring out the best in his actors. I thought it might be worth looking to see what qualities these were that he had that enabled him to help other people to perform at their best, something I think perhaps most of us would like to be able to do. And one of them, no doubt, Jeremy Irons, who worked with him on a play, and his comment was that Mike Nichols created a protective environment where it seemed as though nobody else mattered but you. And I think both those things are important. If we're trying to bring out the best in someone else, we need to make sure they feel safe, but we also need to make sure they feel important and significant. And Anne Margaret, another actress that he worked with, talked about the way in which he shared his ideas. He did it, she said, in such a way that you felt that the ideas were your own. And I think if we can avoid being patronising, I mean, this was much better than avoiding being patronising. This was actually making the other person feel really positive about themselves, because he was able them to feel that they were the ones coming up with the ideas. But perhaps Mike Nichols' best known work was as director of The Graduate. And here we find an ability he had to spot potential. When casting Benjamin, the student in the much loved film with Anne Bancroft, it was thought that it suggested he might use Robert Redford, a well-established actor by then, but no, instead he went for Dustin Hoffman, who at that point was completely unknown. This was his first film, and yet Nichols was able to see in Dustin Hoffman the skill which over the years since then has eventually emerged, but also that he was just right for that character, and this ability to spot what's right for people and to see potential that other people may not perhaps see for themselves. This is also something which, if only we could develop it, I'm sure would be enormously valuable. But one of the most interesting and successful films that he directed was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, with Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, and they are notoriously difficult people to work with, apparently. But Elizabeth Taylor specifically asked that Mike Nichols should be the one who directed the two of them and the other two main characters in this film, and all four of these main characters in the film were nominated, in fact indeed won Oscars for their performance in different categories. And Richard Burton, who said that he thought he knew all about comedy because he'd acted in so many Shakespearean comedies. He didn't think he had much to learn, but Mike Nichols taught him a lot about comedy in directing him in this play. But he uses, I think, a fascinating word. He said, Mike Nichols conspires with us to bring out the best in us. And I think that word conspires sums up what Mike Nichols was able to do. It suggests a sort of secretive, just you and me together working on something, but it emphasises the nature of the partnership and the notion that there is something that the two of you, the two people involved in conspiring, can work towards as the person that is being helped and directed in the film produces the best performance they could possibly produce. And I think often it's a nice thought that we might conspire with people that we know to help in the various ways, and in other ways than those that Mike Nichols used, to bring out what is best in them.